Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk with House. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
First thing we want to do is congratulate everybody that subscribed because we actually broke 10,000.
Yay!
Yeah, when we made the last video, we were just like 11 people short. Mm-hmm. So we actually crossed that threshold Sunday.
Yay!
So yeah, we're over 10,000. We're super happy. Now we're going to stop harassing you guys and keep talking about the subscribers. But our next goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers. So you need to share it with at least, if everyone in the channel shared it with 10 people and now subscribed, we would be at 100,000.
There you go.
Okay, we are going to talk about this dire prediction. This is from, I'll read the headline of the article. Okay. Real estate investor warns U.S. is entering the greatest correction of his lifetime. He's got to be like 12 or 13. I first thing I thought when I saw the headline was Crash Bro, right? Who is this real estate investor? So anyway, Juana, what do you think about that? Just the headline when you read the because you read the article.
Yeah.
When you first saw the article, what were you thinking? What did he think he meant by correction?
Most of the time when we hear correction, it generally means a downturn in whatever it is that we're talking about.
Okay. But we think it was a price correction, a number of sales correction,
Generally, so when people are talking about real estate or anything else, they're talking about price, not about number of units transacted.
Okay. All right. Let's go through the article. Here's the first quote. I just want to say that we're entering the greatest real estate correction in my lifetime. Private equity fund manager Grant Cardone told Fox and Friends on Thursday while discussing the state of the industry. So he was a real estate investor, but now apparently he's a private equity fund manager. I wonder why he's not a real estate investor anymore if he knows so much about real estate. I'm guessing because if you manage a private equity fund, you get management fees and you get the carry. You get to carry on all the investments. Mm-hmm. So you actually make even more money through your influence than you make by making any good decision. Because even if your investments lose money, you still make money because you get management fees and carry.
Right.
It's the investors lose. Actually, even if you have to make modest gains for your investors to get any returns because they have to overcome the carry. And the carry is the percentage that they get. So a good example would be like, hey, I'm going to get you guys in this deal, but I get 10 to 20% of the deal. So it has to go up 10 to 20% just for you to break even, right? And then it has to go up at least 1 or 2% a year because that's my management fee.
Right.
Right, because in theory, private equity funds have access to deals you can't get.
Correct.
And sometimes there are good ones, right?
Right.
But sometimes there aren't. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Here's the next quote. It's, quote unquote, real estate correction, going to be great opportunity for individuals, regular everyday people, to actually grab trophy real estate from institutions. This has never happened in this country. Juana, the housing crash. Banks foreclosed. Are banks institutions?
Banks are institutions.
Weren't there millions, like 4 or 5 million bank-owned homes?
Yes,
4 or 5 million over about a 6-year period.
Yes, there were. And actually, the biggest institution is the U.S. government.
Oh, Fannie and Freddie.
And they had lots of properties, which they, in turn, sold to individuals and to investors.
So, in order for it to be enough, it has to be more than 4 or 5 million. We know because we sold about over 3,000 of those. So we know how, and you think that's a big number, but remember there were 4 or 5 million. Mm-hmm. So there were literally 1,000 people in the country who you could say sold as many as we did. There weren't. It was just spread out among more agents that were handling the foreclosures for the bank. I just thought that was funny that you're going to grab trophy real estate. Like all of a sudden, the number of homes would be so massive. Mm-hmm. It is going to drive prices into the dirt. You've never had this opportunity. I'm going to predict right now, the best opportunity to buy a house in the last 4 years was exactly 4 years ago, 2019. We're going to talk about the numbers because the numbers don't make any sense. Okay.
Well, but using that analogy, the best opportunity between now and 5 years from now to buy a house is probably now.
Okay. This whole thing is a white elephant, it's a red herring. What's some other euphemism we can use?
Baloney?
It's baloney. Okay. We have all the numbers. We're going to go through the numbers. The numbers don't make any sense. What is he talking about? What is this massive amount of thing? What does this stem from?
So this stems from this proposal in Congress to limit the number of single-family homes that hedge funds could own. And so his inference is that any number above that magic number, the hedge funds would have to sell, and of course they would have to sell at a fire sale and that sort of thing, which is not quite true.
Okay. It's not true for a couple reasons. First of all, the proposal it's never going to happen. It's being proposed in Congress by the minority party, and the majority part, Congress is so polarized, it has no sponsors in the majority part of Congress, and they're not going to allow, it's not even get voted on. It won't even get through a committee. Like whatever committee this was proposed, it was proposed in the Senate too. Also, the general House and Senate are not even interested in this. This is not, they have bigger fish to fry. They haven't even dealt with the FAA reauthorization, which is a big deal. And they're still trying to get money for Ukraine, and Israel knows article. This is a nothing. But the article came out. It also, even if it passed, it would give 10 years for them to liquidate their properties. And we're going to talk about how many properties they own total. Because it's nowhere near 4 or 5 million. It's like pennies, fractions of that, right? Okay.
Well, the other thing to keep in mind, that the whole proposal is disingenuous, and I'm sorry, but it is, because it just seems like it's just meant to get attention. So if a proposal is just meant to get attention and has no possibility of getting sponsors or even having any sort of an airing out, then it just seems disingenuous to spend time on it when there are so many other things to spend time on that have the possibility of moving forward.
Okay, here's a quote. Despite Cardone's claim that the industry is entering new territory, the current housing market poses significant issues for any buyer or seller as interest rates and housing costs remain heightened. With sellers staying out of the market, low inventory exacerbates the problem and results in rising home prices. This is actually the only accurate quote in the whole article. People have stayed out of the market, and that has caused home prices to rise.
Right.
High interest rates going from 3 to 8% did not cause any home prices to decline.
No.
Home prices still continue to go up, right?
Correct.
Here is, I thought this was pretty funny. It's unaffordable for people to own a home today, Cardone stressed, while blaming the Federal Reserve for single-handedly killing the housing market with interest rate hikes. Juana, if interest rates were still at 3%, there would be a ton of people trying to buy.
There would be a ton of people trying to buy, and it wouldn't be helping the people that he purportedly is interested in helping. And as far as the Fed single-handedly killing the housing market, not so fast, because what the Fed did was bring inflation under control so that people could afford their housing that is at a fixed cost. Because when your food cost, when your energy costs are out of control because of inflation, now all of a sudden makes even your fixed costs more difficult to afford.
Here's your next quote. He, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, has not controlled inflation. The data shows otherwise.
Exactly.
He has failed miserably. What he has actually done is created and in the meantime stopped the housing industry, the real estate. Is the housing industry stopped?
Not at all. The housing industry is doing quite well. We know that builders have record profits. We know that home prices are still going up. And we know that we have more than enough buyers for the amount of homes that are being transacted. Yes, the number of homes transacting is lower than in previous years. So that part is true, but that is not the same thing as home values declining. Home values have not declined. Nationally, those numbers are up. Here in Las Vegas, those numbers are up. So he's missing the mark there.
Okay, here's another one. Completely makes no sense. Interest rates will have to come down in order for pricing to come down. Okay, so Crash Bro 2022 was interest rates going up would cause housing to crash. Oh, you know what? We were wrong. It's interest rates going down will cause housing to crash. Well, Juana, interest rates are down over 1% in the last 6 weeks. What have home prices done in the last 6 weeks? Have they gone up or down?
Up.
Oh, so what the hell? Like, this makes no sense. Okay? This is actually a contradiction to what most people think. Like most economists, most people who actually understand how supply and demand and markets work. Like actually what most people think, okay? But when interest rates come down, mortgage applications will go up, right?
That's true.
And people will start selling their homes.
That's true.
Okay, but less people will sell than the people that will want to buy. Because
That's true.
Okay, here's why. Normal market wanted. Do you know how many homes are sold in a normal year pre-pandemic?
Over 5 million.
5.3, 5.4 million. Do you know what how many this year is going to be totally sold total?
About 4 million.
4 million. You know what the projection is for next year?
Just slightly more.
It's going to be about 4. Some people have said 3.8. Some people have said a little more. It's going to take 5.3 million houses to get back to normal.
Okay, so but every year that we are below that, it's actually going to take more, right? Because every year we're building that deficit. And you know, his position that sellers will put their houses on the market and that's going to create a rise in inventory. Well, that's partially true. It will create more choice, but not a rise in inventory. And what I mean by that is that you'll still have that some of these sellers who are selling will need to buy, and then there will be others who will not be selling and will be buying. So you're going to have two different groups trying to absorb the same pool of houses. So you're going to have the pool of sellers trying to absorb houses and the pool of people who are not selling, whether because they're renters or whether because they're going to turn their present home into a rental and they'll be buying.
Interest rates are not going to come down enough for this to matter. They'll probably be in the mid to low 6s for most of next year. There's some theory that they'll get below 6, but even with that, no one's getting rid of their 2, 3, and 4% loans to go trade it in on a 6% loan. If they want to buy another house because they want a bigger house, a smaller house, or they want to move, they will just keep the house they have at the low interest rate, rent it out, and they will go get the other house, okay?
Right, so the other thing that sellers have or that homeowners have in their back pocket is the fact that not only do they have these low interest rates, but they have a lot of equity. So with interest rates coming down, they can tap into that equity without selling the home by getting a home equity loan or a second to help them buy the other house. And then they'll deal with that debt, whether by paying it off or by rolling it into a refinance deal later on down the road for that second house, or however they're going to deal with it. So sellers and homeowners have a lot of different choices, and selling their existing property is just one of several choices.
So the biggest opportunity of his lifetime, the most homes you've ever seen. Remember the housing crash, 4 to 5 million bank-owned homes came on the market. It's literally what crashed the housing market, were all the foreclosures and the bank-owned homes. Okay, ready? How many total, all institutional investors, not mom and pops, they own 75 or more homes. How many total homes do you think they own?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 750,000.
Okay, it's actually less. Here we go. The number, 574,000.
Okay, so it's a lot less.
By June of 2022, now this was a year ago data,
right?
Large hedge funds and institutional investors held approximately 574,000 single-family homes. Yes, they've accumulated some in the last year and a half, but not millions, just a couple, maybe 100,000, right? So we got under 700,000 that they own.
Okay.
This proposed legislation, first of all, gives them 10 years to sell the houses. They don't have to sell them all immediately. So let's say they said, you know what, Congress is against us. Let's stop buying homes and let's sell 50 or 60,000 a year. Remember, we're at a deficit of 1.3 million per year that we're short of selling. The projections all the way to 2027 is we're not even going to get back to 5 million by 2027. So we're going to be under that 5.3 million that we have to sell every year. We're going to be under 4 million probably next year. And we're going to add 70,000 to that. And that's going to be the largest opportunity. You're not even going to know. It's completely ridiculous. And remember, this legislation's never going to happen.
Right.
I think, honestly, that this is just to gain relevancy and more viewers because this has nothing to do. There's nothing in this that's factual. That this is not going to be the greatest opportunity of your lifetime to go pick these like they're just going to be sold for $30,000, and you will have nobody else will be able to buy it. We won't be able to come in with our cash. You'll be able to come in and just swoop it up with your, FHA loan and put down 3% and get this deal. This house is worth $500,000. You're going to buy it for $30,000. Like nobody else is going to know about it. You'll just have this amazing opportunity to buy these houses from institutions.
There you go.
This is literally not going to happen. Juana.
Yes, boss.
Was that prediction of his hyperbole?
There are words for that prediction, but I don't think I want to use them.
Okay. Anyway, I think this is absolutely... when I read the article, I was like, what? Like nothing in it literally made any sense.
No. Look, I mean, he's somebody that has built a reputation for being a real estate expert, so everybody puts him on because he tends to throw these grenades out there that get people to click, and so the programs that he's on get viewers, and that's what this is about. This is about eyeballs. In the case of this particular individual, it's also about selling his program, selling access, selling all these things, but the bottom line is follow the money. And where does that lead you? It leads you to this person making money from his notoriety. It leads you to the journalists that are having them on their program, getting more clicks. So follow the money.
I agree.
Okay. So was that interesting? You don't have to agree with us. We just appreciate your comments. Remember, we appreciate your real estate related comments. Please stick to those. We appreciate you liking the video. That means hit the like button. Subscribe. I know he hit 10,000, but
100,000.
Now he's got another goal, so help us
I want
out.
to be on Fox and Friends. I actually had a friend who hosted Fox and Friends a long time ago.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, I don't think they care.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's trying to get to 100,000 views. Please help him out and help me out so I can help him out. We appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video. Share it. And we'll see you on the next video.